You've heard the name Casanova. It's almost a whisper, isn't it? Like a secret, promising some kind of mastery over desire, a power that very few people ever get to wield. But this explainer, this isn't about that promise. It's about the warning label. We're not here to learn the code. We're here to understand its cost. Because the power it offers, well, it's a siren song. And it's luring you towards a very, very dangerous shore.
Just think about that for a second. Ice. A key made of ice doesn't just unlock a door, it chills everything it touches. Sure, it can preserve something, but it can also burn you. This key promises you access, but what it leaves behind is frostbite, a deep, echoing emptiness. And that, right there, is the true nature of this code.
Okay, so let's really dive into what this is all about. It is absolutely crucial to understand our purpose here. This is not some kind of instruction manual. You should think of this as a map of a labyrinth. And it's a labyrinth that is expertly designed to trap not just the target, but the person who dares to walk its halls, you. This gets to the very heart of the matter. The Casanova Code has nothing to do with fostering connection or love. It's a dark art. It's a kind of emotional alchemy. The entire goal is to take something as simple as a moment of attention and, through these calculated steps, transform it into an obsessive, addictive longing. It's a performance, and it is a deeply dangerous one. So, how does a descent like this even begin? Well, the first stage is all about building an illusion. But here's the catch. To forge this perfect, false reality for someone else, the code demands that you first start by erasing yourself. Let's take a look at how that works. This is the first technique, and it's called the Obsidian Mirror. It is all about making someone feel like they are the absolute, undeniable center of your universe. You're not just listening to them, you are studying them. You're cataloging the cadence of their laugh, their weird opinions, their most obscure passions. You make them feel seen, truly witnessed, in a way they have probably never been before. And in doing so, you create this addictive, private little world just for the two of you. And for her, you can imagine the feeling is intoxicating. It's this little voice in her head that whispers, "He actually sees me." It creates this sense of irreplaceable intimacy that can cut through almost any cynicism. But there is a devastating cost. Because to perform this, you have to disappear. Your own opinions, your own feelings, your own tiredness, all of it has to be locked away. You become a hollow phantom, defined only by the light you're reflecting back at her. The second that focus slips, the illusion just shatters, and you're left completely empty. So after you've created this illusion of being perfectly seen, the code moves on to its next phase, engineering emotional volatility. Now, the goal here is to create a kind of addictive tension that keeps the other person completely and utterly hooked. They call this one the unpredictable current. Imagine this. One moment, you are the warmest, most attentive confidant in the world, and the next, you pull back. You retreat into this cool, mysterious silence. This calculated inconsistency is designed on purpose to keep someone perpetually off balance, always guessing, always wondering, what happens next? And that uncertainty, that creates a powerful dopamine hit that becomes incredibly addictive. Now look, on one hand, this creates a thrilling chase, right? Predictability can be boring, and this tension makes her chase the high of getting your attention back. But the warning here is severe. You are actively cultivating chaos. And chaos, well, chaos always consumes its creator. The performance is exhausting. And that line between your calculated act and genuine emotional instability, it begins to get dangerously blurry. This question just cuts right to the bone. When you're deliberately creating these emotional highs and lows in someone, all for your own benefit, are you really being charming? Or are you just committing a form of emotional arson, burning down their stability just for a fleeting thrill? And this brings us to what is maybe the most profound violation in the entire code. This is the moment where true intellectual and emotional connection, something that should be sacred, is twisted, perverted, and turned into a weapon for leverage. This is the labyrinth of the mind. The technique here is to seduce a person's intellect and their emotions before anything physical even happens. You engage with their ideas, their dreams, their vulnerabilities, and this creates an incredibly potent, incredibly deep bond, because that kind of mental resonance is so rare. You effectively become the architect of her inner world. The seduction here is just immense. She feels understood on a level that goes so far beyond simple physical attraction. But this is where the deep betrayal is revealed. You're learning her vulnerabilities not to connect, not to protect her, but to gain leverage. You are turning her inner sanctum into your battlefield. That is a profound violation of trust. And you have to remember, the labyrinth always consumes its architect. So all of these techniques, the mirror, the current, the labyrinth, they all lead to one single place. We have reached the climax of this warning. This is the final, damning truth of what actually happens when you master the Casanova code. And there it is. The ultimate price isn't a broken heart. It's not a bad reputation. No, the ultimate price is paid by the user. It is the complete and total hollowing out of your own self. The real victim of this code is always the person who wields it. This self-destruction happens through what the source material calls the 3 thefts. Step 1, you steal your own authenticity. You're not a lover. You become an actor playing one. Step 2, you steal real connection. All you can offer is an illusion of intimacy, not a real foundation. And finally, in the ultimate act of self-sabotage, you steal yourself. You become a master of a game that you are no longer capable of even feeling. You see, the true horror here isn't ending up alone. It's actually much worse than that. The ultimate curse is emotional sterility. It's the inability to experience real, unforced reciprocal love. After you spend so much time simulating the feeling, you lose the capacity to actually feel it. You can orchestrate desire in other people, but you can no longer experience it yourself. Which brings us to the final haunting question. After seeing the techniques, the seduction, and the absolutely devastating cost, you have to ask yourself, is mastering this code really a form of power? Or is it just a very sophisticated, drawn-out process of self-annihilation?